Cheap 9mm pistols used to piss me off. Not because they existed, because I kept seeing people buy them, then act shocked when they ran like trash. Like the universe betrayed them. Recently, I set a budget beater on the bench, and a guy 2 lanes over starts grinning. Gives me that little look. Like I showed up with a high point and a tuxedo. Cool. Buzzer goes off. He starts ripping, and his real gun turns into a damn suggestion. Little hiccup, then another. You know that sound. Everybody hears it. He gets quiet real fast. I keep shooting. Steel keeps ringing. And I hate that part the most, because it proves I was wrong longer than I should have been. So, this list stays simple. Cheap 9mm that beat expectations when it's messy, and each one still has a flaw that bugs me. One of these costs less than some people's red dots, and it embarrasses safe bets. PSA Dagger Compact sat in my hand before I saw it in the case. I walked into a Texas strip mall gun shop early this year, wedged between a cash check place and a taqueria, lights buzzing, smelled like burnt coffee and CLP. 2 regulars glued to the glass. I wasn't shopping fancy, I was hunting for a reason to laugh at a cheap Glock clone. The dagger wasn't out, not sold out, just not there, I asked. The counter guy paused, then said, "We don't leave those out anymore." No hype, just tired. He told me they'd moved a stupid number last week, and the weird part was, nobody came back to bitch. No trades, no it jammed, nothing. So I went looking for the failure myself. Mixed ammo, dirty mags, no warm-up. I ran the Dagger Compact fast, hard, and sloppy on purpose. Draws, reloads, steel at 7, paper at 15. It didn't flinch. It just cycled. The dot tracked flat. My group stayed tighter than a couple pistols I paid real money for, and that made me mad. The trigger still felt a little spongy at the wall, and the finish looked like it took damage just from being carried. But it kept acting boring. If a cheap clone does that, what exactly did I pay extra for, besides ego? First mag out of the Ruger RM, and my stomach already hated it. Not broken, just that cheap feeling where the grip sits a ½ degree wrong, and you start counting rounds like a stopwatch. I didn't ask to start right then. Guy in the next lane says it loud. "You actually bought that?" I don't defend it. I slam another mag in like I'm begging it to choke. I run it fast, rushed reload. Support hand goes lazy on purpose. I let it shift. I feed it mixed ammo I wouldn't brag about. This is where budget guns cough. The RXM doesn't. Second mag, clean. Third, clean. No nosedive, no dead trigger, no weird hesitation. Brass stacks up like it's nothing. Halfway through a string, I pause, just a blink, because my brain expects the failure. That pause is the shock. The gun steals your "told you so," and I'm still irritated because it still feels off in my hand. Balance nags me. The texture chews. Later, I hear the shop moved a stupid number of RXMs in a short window. Quiet buyers. No drama. That tracks now. And I don't like that either. What came after this was worse, because the next one looked like a mistake. The second it cleared the holster, then it started acting like it wanted to fight. South of San Antonio, the county range was already loud. Steel ringing, dust hanging. Everybody pretending they wasn't watching each other. 2 lanes over, a guy kept clearing his Taurus GX4 like he was swatting flies. Tap rack. Curse. Tap rack. Again. Every other mag, the nose of a round, jammed up, and he started blaming ammo with that fake confidence. I watched it long enough, my brain stamped a rule. 4 equals roulette. A week later, I had my own. Bought with that 200-something cash. People burn on groceries now. I walked onto the line, already angry, trying to recreate his mess. Same cheap ball, rushed reloads, and I loosened my grip on purpose. One hand strings, sweaty hands, no warm-up. Then I did the thing that should have killed it. Mag didn't seat clean, felt wrong, and I sent the slide anyway. I expected a dead trigger. Instead, it barked, cycled, and ate the next rounds like nothing happened. That made me stop mid-string. Not because it failed, because it didn't. And for a little gun, it kept stacking hits at 15. Grip bites my palm, and The reset feels short and rude. I carry it anyway, waiting for the other version to show up. Maybe it stays boring forever. Maybe it turns into that guy's nightmare on the worst day. I don't know yet. 3 days after I sold the Canik TP9 Elite SC, it hit me in the gut. I dumped the wrong gun. I called it thin-in the safe. Really, I chased space and approval like an idiot. I stood at my bench with 2 smarter carry pistols. Newer, cleaner, internet approved, and none of them settled. They felt nervous, snappy, like they needed permission to run fast. I kept chasing that locked-in feel the Canik gave me, and the more I chased it, the dumber my trade looked. That's the shock. Not a malfunction, not a group. Just realizing I trusted the cheap one more after it left than when it sat in my safe. So I hunted another Elite SC down and paid closer to 3 bills than I wanted for a budget gun. Handing over that cash felt like swallowing pride in public. Back on the range, the Canik did what it always did. The trigger broke clean. Sights came back fast, and my splits tightened up like I remembered. That gun felt finished in a way some expensive pistols never managed. Problem is, it carried like a brick, thicker than I wanted. It printed when I got lazy, and it reminded me every step it was there. The last gun on this list, that one didn't just sting, it got personal. CZP10C rode on me the day I learned how fast a normal errand turns into a quiet panic. Cheap holster, wrong belt. I walked in anyway because I told myself it was fine. I reached up for something on a high shelf and felt the whole rig shift. Shirt rode up. Grip printed hard, and I caught the look. Not a stranger. A guy I knew. The kind that judges without talking. He finally muttered, "You good?" Like I was already the problem. I got out, pissed and shaky. I drove straight to the range, still tight in the chest, and I didn't give myself a warm-up. I stuffed 6 rounds in the mag and ran a fast build drill pace at 7 yards. Hands still buzzing, grip not even perfect. The P10C snapped back flat, and the trigger broke clean like a more expensive gun. All 6 stayed in a fist-sized knot. I stared at it for a second because that wasn't supposed to happen with a 200-something pistol and a bad mood. The grip texture chews me up and it prints if I get lazy. It fights comfort every day, but performance, it keeps bailing me out. That scares me more than the stare did, and I hate that I keep trusting it. In the SAR-9C ruined my plan in the first 10 rounds. Dusty pawn shop, midweek, glass case full of random nonsense and sad pistols with greasy tags. The SAR-9C sat in the corner like it got grounded. I asked to see it, and the counter guy didn't even try to sell me. That one, he squints at it. Kinda a parts gun. He said it like a warning and a dare. So yeah, I bought it. Not because I needed it, because I hate being steered. The whole plan was simple. Take it to the range, confirm it was mid, flip it fast, forget it existed. Cold gun, cheap ball ammo, paper at 15. No warm-up. First mag, I was already waiting for something dumb, some little failure that let me feel right. Instead, the first group landed in a tight little knot, like the gun wanted to embarrass me. I stared at the target longer than I shot it, because that wasn't supposed to happen with a parts gun that cost less than most people's grocery run. Recoil felt calmer than it deserved too, like it cheated. The trigger felt gritty and stacky, like dragging a brick across sand. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't smooth. It just kept putting rounds where I aimed. Now I'm stuck. Either I keep it or I admit the pawn shop orphan did its job better than some guns I actually liked. That's the whole point. Cheap didn't mean bad the way I wanted it to. Not with these. Each one did one thing way better than it had any right to. Trigger, recoil, accuracy, reliability, something you felt on the gun, not on a spec sheet. And yeah, every one of them still had a problem. Finish that wears like sandpaper, sights I wanted to throw away, a grip that chews you up, something. If a pistol has no flaw, somebody's lying. Now I want your receipts. What's the cheapest 9mm you actually trust? And what did it survive? Junk ammo, class, sweat carry, a match where your hands shook. I'm Steve, stay a little pissed off. It keeps you honest.